Here's Pete Hegseth on with Laura Ingraham, of all people, being asked the tough question of, like, what's going on here? Why, when and I'm being a little bit facetious, she doesn't bring up the fact that crime...
She does.
At its low, she does.
At one point, she does. I mean, I listened to a little bit of it. But she was a little more skeptical than I thought. We can see if I remember that correctly. But yeah, she's at the very least skeptical of what Hegseth is selling here.
President's call, but we're going to be there for him to execute as swiftly as possible.
Will the National Guard be detaining Americans on American soil?
Under Title 32, which is the authorization they'll be using, they have broad latitude, but they're not going to be involved in law enforcement functions. They will be standing right alongside our federal agents like they were in Los Angeles. They're going to be proactive. If you take an action or a shot at them, there will be a consequence. So they're going to be strong.
So if a crime is being committed, in other words, and a National Guardsman sees a crime being committed, then what?
They can come alongside and assist law enforcement.
What if law enforcement isn't on that corner?
Then they can take. Then they will. I will have their back to ensure they can take the necessary action to protect citizens of D.C. and to protect themselves. So there's no rogue law enforcement going on from the National Guard.
Pause it for a second. Wait a second. Is the issue that Pete Hegseth is going to stand behind his guys, or is it that posse comitatus, like they're not allowed to do this? We're not allowed to have federalized National Guardsmen, in other words, federal soldiers, on the streets of a city making arrests unless it's explicitly to protect federal authorities in the process of doing their work. So it doesn't matter if he's got their back.
That was
They'll be illegal.
Logic. Yeah.
We're replacing the Constitution with common sense.
Exactly. It's called the Hegsethtution. Go ahead.
But there's also the application of common sense. We're not going to have National Guardsmen sitting there like this, seeing a crime committed and not do something about it. You can help somebody, interdict, temporarily detain.
Well, pause it. Wait. I mean, can we all be vigilantes?
Yeah.
Because if it is against the law for you to do that, then it's against the law for you to do it. It's no common sense. Common sense actually is you don't put soldiers in the streets of the city really in just about any circumstance except for an emergency. And common sense also says that if crime is at a 30-year low last year and it's down 26% from that 30-year low, common sense would say we don't need the National Guard there. In fact, we don't even need the 120 FBI agents walking around making God knows what they're making, trained in something completely different, walking around the beat at night.
Right. I mean, well, also, I think you were right. I confused it with that Fox and Friends clip. I don't think Laura Ingraham brings it up, but they brought it up in Fox and Friends just to hand wave it away to say, but it's not people's lived experience.
Well, yes, a barista, I know, said something different. So.
But what, like, it's just, wasn't Hegseth just talking about how the troops are too feminized and that they need to be killing machines, basically? It's just interesting now that they basically have them on UN peacekeeper duty and that they're not like allowed to do anything, but we're deploying these so-called newly masculine hyper-killing machines to the streets of D.C.
And hand over to law enforcement. Those are the types of things the National Guard can be trained to do.
Do you guys have buy-in from any local officials in D.C.? I'm not saying you need it, but you can see where it would be helpful. Faith-based leaders, community leaders. Bowser, I think, is trying to walk a line there. She's probably the best mayor D.C. has had, which people think, well, how are you saying that? Because she's actually better than, I think, most mayors for the last 25 years in D.C.
I think she's walking a line of, as we talked about a little bit before the show, she understands the obvious. She understands the citizens of D.C. are sick of this kind of environment. And I think they're waiting for, if given an opportunity to resist the thugs and the gangs and the criminals and the drug dealers, they want the alternative. So I think the vast majority of D.C. folks, they may not want to say it, especially if they're left of center, but under their breath and quietly, they would welcome a peaceful city where their friends and families can come visit and be safe.
And the National Guard going to be picking up these tents, the homeless tents?
Oh, pause it, just in case you didn't follow. You don't have to take it down. Leave it up there. Just in case you didn't follow his response. The answer is no. There's been no buy-in by any leaders in D.C., except for people secretly in their homes. happy that the National Guard's going to be
When the
there.
mic's cut off on this show, we all talk about how safe we feel.
Exactly.
Homeless tents are all over the city. They're on K Street Tunnel. There are some dotting along the area here. There were more before. Some of them have been cleared out. What about those?
We're working with the marshals and alongside them, alongside Park Police, alongside everybody else. Wherever they need the National Guard to assist, we're happy to be
Do you
there
know
with
where
them.
the homeless people are going to go?
That's not really my lane.
Yeah.
Our job is to stand alongside law enforcement. We'll do that.
Oh, your job's to stand aside law enforcement. So then what is the point?
Hey, man, we're going to need a lot of troops down here to deal with these homeless people. They're like an army.
I'm so glad we detrans the troops so they can stand around and watch.
We're just here,
DC.
Listen, we have to go in there and get those homeless. We've got to fight them with everything we have. I hope there's like a big pep rally.
Yeah.
You know, like sort of like a Patton type of situation where he's marching back and forth in front of a massive flag. And Hegseth is there and is like, when you see the whites of the eyes of those homeless people, that's when you attack. Now, unless, of course, you see white flesh, then, okay, take a beat. But if you see the whites of,
there we go.
you go. I mean, this is just insane. It's just insane. And again, Washington, D.C. Crime numbers, as low as they've been, maybe in as old as Pete Hegseth is. How old is Hegseth? Like 40-something? Not in how many wives' years or how many sexual assaults he's avoided, but I'm just saying in general.
45 in Earth years, 65 in whiskey years.
Yeah. That liver's like, I'm 82.
Hockey with the liver.
Hey, for weeks, all we've heard is how Trump's big, beautiful bill will cut Medicaid. But almost no one's reporting on a buried provision that would make Trump untouchable. Go to ground.news/majority to see how this bill would block judges from enforcing court orders unless you, the citizen, post a bond first. Highly credible sources warn most people can't actually afford to do this, and that's pretty obvious. So if this bill passes and Trump violates the law, it wouldn't even matter, and nobody even knows, which means the GOP's flood the zone strategy is working. And it's why I think Ground News is the best tool to expose these blind spots before it's too late. My partners built the only app and website pulling in news from across the globe, then breaking down each source's bias, credibility, and the news the right tries to bury. And considering most people take the first article they see online as fact, their browser extension is essential. What it does is it flags the source's bias and links other credible reports to verify the information. Ground News is a better version of how we're already staying informed. So I got you 40% off the same unlimited access Vantage plan that I've been using. That's just $5 a month when you go to ground.news/majority, scan my QR code, or redeem the code majority if you're using the app. With at least another 4 years of this, they're counting on you to be distracted. This app is how you stay focused. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.